Hi,
Hello.
I'm Kimberly,
I'm Michael.
and welcome to Real Takes.
And Movie Break.
And today we are reviewing the movie Trap.
Trap. Not trapped.
Right. This will be a no spoiler review, so we're not going to give anything away that you couldn't have seen in the trailer. Our spoiler review will be in the description below. So let's start with what we liked about this movie.
Great setup.
Yeah?
Compelling.
Yeah?
Good logic.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of good logic.
Well, I might argue with the good logic part. I will say it was a great setup. The idea of going to a concert and seeing the two characters interact at first, you think it's like this wholesome dad and his daughter, and he's doing all these like dad jokes, and he's trying to learn the lingo of generation, whatever her generation. What is it?
Gen Z.
So, and then there's some twists. So I will say, going into this movie, I was a little on the fence. Thank you, Jennifer Fuqua, for recommending we review this. I knew Hayley Mills was in it, and I love Hayley Mills. I grew up watching like The Parent Trap and different things she was in, so I was excited to see her in this, but I was a little disappointed that she wasn't really featured or utilized nearly as much as she could have been. But we're talking about what we liked about it. So what do we like about it? I like the chemistry between the characters. I like the, like you said, the setup. The story was intriguing, I must say. The performances, were pretty good. Cinematography, didn't require exceptional cinematography, so, it was decent. Parts of it were kind of funny, but I don't know if the parts that I thought were funny were meant to be funny. And I went into it with an open mind, even though the last couple of M. Night Shyamalan films I saw, I really didn't like. I love The Sixth Sense, and ever since then, I haven't seen an M. Night Shyamalan movie I've really loved that much.
You didn't like Signs?
I liked Signs. I just didn't love it as much as Sixth Sense, but I did like Signs. The last M. Night Shyamalan movie I saw, Old, after I saw that, I almost swore to myself, I will never see another M. Night Shyamalan movie. But I went into this one just because Jennifer recommended it, and I heard mixed, it got a little mixed reviews, so I was curious enough to see what it was about. And I like psychological thrillers. I like anything that makes you think about psychology. So that's what I liked about it. Can you name anything else you liked about it?
I think M. Night Shyamalan is good at suspense. I think he's good at directing suspenseful sequences. I think that's his strength. I think he oftentimes will get away from his strength, especially in the third act. I think he typically has a hard time figuring out, how do I resolve this story in a way that's going to really wow him. And I would encourage, if you're watching M. Night, to go back and look at Alfred Hitchcock and Brian De Palma, who I believe are your influences, and kind of look at how they would resolve the third act of their films. Oftentimes they would take a simpler approach. I think Psycho was a big influence on you in this one. I think. Oh,
it clearly, definitely, especially the directing, the way Josh Hartnett, is that how you say his name? Hartnett. The way he was directed, it seemed like he was definitely channeling a little Christian Bale, but
I'm talking about Norman Bates.
Or Norman Bates Psycho.
The motel.
Not American Psycho.
Well, that too. I'm
Okay.
sure there was a little bit of a lot of influences. I think actually some of Christian Bale's performance is in this.
Yeah, I feel like when I was watching this, I kept thinking Josh Hartnett is almost impersonating Christian Bale, which was kind of funny, not really scary, but kind of funny. I will say, I didn't feel scared at any point.
No, it's not scary. It's not scary. It's suspenseful.
It's suspenseful.
Suspenseful.
It is interesting to try to think about, okay, following the main character, and the trailer gives this away, that the main character is the killer, and trying to kind of you almost side with him a little bit. But I guess we can go into what we didn't like about it now if you're ready.
Just the resolution of the story. I did not like the third act.
Yeah, and I I agree with you. I didn't think the third act. I thought the third act got so absurd and so unrealistic. And even the build up parts of the psychology behind this character felt unbelievable because really, like, a serial killer is going to have a double life as a married man with kids. I mean, do serial killers actually do that? Are they actually fronting? Are they actually able to get away with, like, fronting and having this semi-normal existence, like a Brady Bunch existence, and then...
Well, in the reality of this movie, that's the case.
Right, but I mean, realistically, is that how...
I mean, it's definitely not realistic, but I feel like that's what this movie's about. This movie's about a serial killer who's carrying on as a family man, and so the goal of the film is we're following him through Act 1 and Act 2.
And I think that I couldn't take the movie seriously because this character I couldn't take seriously because the character would never exist in real life. So there has to be some believability, and it's not that the performance was bad. The performance was just kind of hokey, I would say, of our lead. And I've never seen Josh Hartnett in other movies. Like you said you saw him in movies.
I've seen a lot of movies, but I've seen a lot of stuff that he did in the past. I won't go so far as to say he was bad. I'm not going to say it was hokey. It was a kabuki performance. He was doing a lot of face acting.
Yeah,
very much like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. It's a different style, and I think that's what M. Night Shyamalan was going for. He was going for this type of character, and it's a character we've seen in the history of cinema. Kind of all the way up till now. American Psycho, The Shining, this. Like it's a Dexter. There's a thread of a character like this. But the point I'm making is that structurally, I think the movie falls apart when you leave that concert.
Yeah, once the characters leave the concert, because it's kind of fun seeing how our lead's going to escape the trap of the concert. But then once they leave and the movie goes on and on and on, and if you're gonna watch it, you're gonna think the movie's about to be over, and then it ends like 5 different times. Like, it could have ended so many times, but it just keeps going on. I feel like this film may have been more effective if it was a lot shorter. It felt way too long for the simple story. And then the twists, they're not really twists. They're more just like, oh, this is some more information. And then I would say the ending is very hokey. So without giving anything away, that's my review, I would say. To sum it up, do you have anything to add?
No, I think that's pretty much how I feel.
So what would you rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 5?
2.5.
2.5? Yeah, I would rate it a 2.5 as well. So I would recommend seeing this movie, if you like psychological thrillers, without, if you're going into it thinking it's going to be scary and shocking and anything like Sixth Sense or Signs, you're going to be a little disappointed. But if you're going into it like, okay, this will be kind of like a fun little like, how's he going to figure this out kind of thing, then you'll be mildly entertained. All right, so check out our spoiler review in the description below, where we will go into more film analysis, giving things away. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.